One, first and foremost, I give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Rakadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who will well and teach our sound doctrine. And peace and blessings to the elect. Now, I heard about this article. I seen a video that the brother Bakora Moth did. I didn't get to watch the whole video. I managed to watch a little bit, but I'm gonna go back and watch it. But anyway, it was around this topic about inflation. As inflation is a very, if I'm not mistaken, inflation is like where you be in terms of say strength, for example. Say you got one barbell. When it used to take one of you to lift the barbell, it now takes like two or three of you. But anyway, if it helps, I can just put the Google definition in the comment section. But anyway, we're gonna get straight into this. Britain faces 22% inflation by January as energy giants are predicted to rake in 17 billion extra profits over the next 2 years, driven by off-gem price cap. Price cap predictions. So you have April, that's 1,971, 3,550. You have different prices. You got this is Shell, which is like a petrol station. This is BP. This is probably I'm not too sure. I was gonna say a power plant or something, but I'm not sure. This is Centria. I'm also not too familiar with this one, but there are other energy providers. The UK faces a cost of living time bomb caused by the cost of energy, food, and a low value of the pound. Now, this cost of living, is coming from all angles. People can't afford to pay, things like rent and housing prices, because at one point they were saying that, there was, I'm not sure if this was just London or, in general, but they were basically saying that, they have more people than they can accommodate. So obviously that leads to an increase in the house prices. But I remember seeing an article, something along those lines, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. But it was indicating that there was a need for more accommodations. Investment bank Goldman Sachs has predicted inflation could hit 22% in 2023. And each time we keep warning you about what? hyperinflation. Now the average person, doesn't really think and doesn't take that seriously. Doesn't take things seriously, but things written before time were written for our learning. You have things in the scriptures, warn us of what's to come, and even things recording general history. I was actually reading something on hyperinflation, and let me get it. Alright, here it is. And this is just Germany. I'm just gonna go straight down to Germany for an example, just because it had a very rapid hyperinflation. So this is 1923 Germany. The hyperinflation, I remember doing this in history, but that's beside the point. Could be traced back to its loss in World War I. The Treaty of Versailles imposed a heavy burden of reparation debts after the war, leading the German government to print more of its currency, which led to its devaluation. The country missed payment in late 1922. As a result of October 1923, the country's monthly inflation reached 29,500. So if I'm not mistaken, the way how this would work is, say you have £1, say you paid £1 for something, or say you had £1, that pound's value has decreased by 29,500%. That's how rapid, that's how serious the inflation was at that point. And you gotta take into account, if this is gonna be a time like, never before recorded in history, it's gonna far surpass everything. You have to take something like this into account. This was very rapid inflation. It was skyrocketing. Like one day, it was maybe 200, and then following week it may be 200 million or something like that. Because they're printing more money, but the money itself, it has no value. Because like even this currency that we have, I always think about it as its value really comes from the value that they really put on it and what it's backed by, which is backed by gold and silver, man. Because gold and silver, the value for gold and silver is pretty much like solid. It doesn't really change. Of course, it may go up, it may go down a little bit, but overall, it's pretty much solid. The country's monthly inflation rate reached 29,500, according to Cato Institute. To put this into perspective, in January 1923, bread cost 250 marks. By the end of that year, it reached 200 million, according to BBC. So imagine you putting it in modern terms. Imagine you go to a store, you have a little bit of money. Say you've saved up, say you've left 300 because that the bread is 250, for example, and then you say, okay, I'm gonna go there the next day, or I'm gonna go there next week, or I'm gonna go there in a month, or so on and so forth. Then you go and get into the store and they say, oh, it's no longer worth 200, it's worth $1 million now. That's gonna be a complete shock, because you were aware of the inflation. You may have been aware of hyperinflation, but you didn't expect it to skyrocket to that to that amount. The economy begins to stabilize, blah blah blah. I just found some